in today's video, we're going to go over some of the questions that we got from last week's check-in. So, very good question that we got. It was, do we have to be on a strict meal plan to lose fat? Do we need to do cardio or strength training or a mixture of both, or does it even matter what exercise we're doing? Really good question. First of all, like with the diet side of it, and then we'll talk about the exercise. Wouldn't worry too much about it being a strict plan that you need to be on, because with food, everything has a certain energy amount in it. If you're overeating, you'll gain fat. If you're undereating, you'll lose fat. Doesn't matter about being too strict on the numbers there, just as long as we're eating a little amount. But then there is the other side of it as well, where if we are eating loads of crap, then you're more likely to overeat because you're not feeling as full, not feeling as satisfied, you don't feel as good. Might feel a bit sluggish, you'll want to eat a bit more. So rather than seeing it as a strict plan where you're restricting what foods you're eating all the time, try and focus on what foods you can eat, eating a lot of foods like lots of fruit, lots of veg, lots of protein, lots of yogurts. Like, keep focusing on the things that you can have and you can enjoy and that are low in calories will help you achieve your goals, rather than all the things that you can't have and that you need to avoid, because then it won't feel like you're on a strict plan as such. It's more focusing on everything that you can do. You want to talk a little bit more about nutrition?
Yeah, I can do. So that's pretty much sums it up. But with regards to actually looking at it as a strict plan, it is more just like sort of almost like living by like certain little standards. So if you're not going to be following calorie counting or anything like that, having obviously the non-negotiables that we've gone through, you can add your own to that one. Quite a good one that I think you use quite a bit is just eating 3 times a day. Seems really simple, but when you actually think about it, if you was just to sit and eat 3 times a day, the chances of you going over your sort of energy needs and things like that are a lot slimmer than there would be if you was picking here and there and not sort of really following anything like that. So you can almost just like make your own plan that's going to fit with you by listing your non-negotiables, having like a couple of certain like very basic rules to sort of live by, if you like, and then you've created your own plan that's going to work for you. It's probably the best way to go, and that's something that I think the majority want to sort of work towards. It takes time. It's not going to happen in 12 weeks, but it is something that like eventually you want to get towards, of just being able to just follow like sort of basic rules and eat within your means. I think that's answered that. And then the second part was is that finished on nutrition?
I was just thinking about the word strict, like trying to get away from things being strict all the time, and that you can be flexible. But I think in the next 2 weeks when we talk about the nutrition extras and balancing a social life, we'll kind of cover that bit, won't we? Yeah. So yeah, with the exercise then.
This, I think, definitely when it comes to fat loss, we need to sort of take training out of it and just say, like, you're not going to train for fat loss specifically. There's certainly no exercise that's going to be better than the other. But if we can take exercise away from sort of being like fat loss related, it's going to come down to your energy balance. So yes, training adds a little bit to it, but it's a very, very small percentage of that it contributes. So if you can focus on, like we said, about the non-negotiables, daily movement, and then use your training to live that sort of stronger life, if you like, or whatever it wants to be, sort of like a long-term thing, where lifting weights and resistance training is a big one. Having a decent amount of fitness from cardio and related stuff is obviously a good bonus to have as well, but I wouldn't say one is better than the other, certainly not for fat loss. Resistance training, you get a lot more sort of bang for your buck, you're covering a lot more, but if you can get a mix of both long term, that is going to serve you well.
Yeah, I think just remember something there as well with the cardio. Yes, you might be burning, I don't want to make it about calories, but burning more calories with more cardio, but when you do all of that, you actually then feel hungrier as well. So you're more likely to then get back from a run or something that's really intense, like a 2-hour bike ride or something, go, God, I'm hungry. But then if you know that you're trying to lose fat, you'd be like, oh no, I want to eat more. I'm doing my progress and stuff. But actually, if you focus more on the strength training, it's not as intense. But you're still burning calories, not as much, but you don't get that need for more food, as much hunger. So the lower the intensity of the exercise, the less it messes with your hunger, so that you can actually monitor it a little bit better as well, and actually keep in a deficit or whatever you're actually aiming for as well. So that's where strength training, like you're saying, is really good, because you get more out of it, and it's not just about the calories that you're burning. So you can just do your exercise, just whatever it is, and then just focus on your diet and just make sure you're where you need to be with it. Yeah, I think the main thing as well is knowing that exercise doesn't target any area of fat loss. So it's not like, oh, I need to lose stomach fat, let's do loads of sit-ups and leg raises and stuff, because it's actually more like the squats, the deadlifts, the bench press that use lots of muscles, so they'll use lots of energy, and that contributes to the fat loss. And also your core strength. So it's not like you need to just be laying on the ground flapping your legs around to get a six-pack or anything like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think we've answered them. What else? We've not got any notes. I don't know where we're going next.
A lot of people said that they wanted to improve their nutrition this week as well. So just wanted to highlight and enhance the fact that nutrition is always just the basics and simple. So don't worry about trying to go a next step or make things crazier than what they are. It's always just sticking to the simple things. And like Luke said earlier, you will, over time, over life, over a year, find what actually works for you. So you might try some recipes and go, you know what, don't have time for that, too much fat, there's not enough veg in it. You'll adapt it and make it your own. So it's just a continuous cycle of just trying to get your fruit, trying to get your veg, trying to get protein in each meal, and then figuring out what calories and carbs and stuff fit there as well. So yeah, just keep sticking to the non-negotiables for them.
I think with nutrition, I'm just going to add a little bit.
Yeah,
it comes from the mindset around it as well. Like I feel like some are still feeling like they need to be like absolutely bang on it if they don't hit the non-negotiables one day, it's like, oh fuck, I ain't hit my non-negotiables. Like, don't worry about it. That is probably the biggest thing. Like, yes, over time you want to be hitting them the majority of the time, but the days that you don't worry. Just try and hit them the next day. And I think it's that change in mindset that is probably going to be the biggest thing. Like when everyone's saying, I want to improve on my nutrition. If you can improve your mindset around your nutrition and still just tick off the basics every day, you'll automatically feel like you've improved your nutrition, because you can't go that far. If you're doing the non-negotiables, if you're hitting them most of the time, if you're living sort of by certain, like we said earlier about them, certain couple of rules, you can't go too far wrong. You certainly can't fall off the wagon or come off track or anything like that. It's just a case of, right, I'll just do it better tomorrow, and that's the best sort of approach you can go for, I think.
I know this is a bit weird as well, but I always like to compare it to like cavemen, because when we was in caveman times, they weren't perfect every day with the diet because the food wasn't readily available, but they still survived, they still lived, they still lived their life. So it's like, even if we're not perfect for 1 or 2 days, it's okay. Like, we're still going to survive.
If it makes you feel any better, we certainly don't hit them non-negotiables every single day.
No.
But we also don't worry about it if we don't hit them. So I think that's something to take home from that.
Yes.
Big check-in week this week, so if you're watching this, just make sure you do fill in the forms on Friday, Saturday or Sunday, so that we can have a look at them goals, and there will be a few more bits going out on True Coach again this week, so just keep your eyes out for them, and we'll catch up on goals next week.
Yes.
Thanks for listening.